Tiffany Blackman is in Philly with the Eagles, and Omar, anybody is talking about right now is Rob Gronkowski, and if he's going to play, what his status is right now. What do you know?
Hi, Colleen. Well, not that it's any consolation for Patriots fans, but according to our Tom Pelissero, Jaguars safety Barry Church was fined about $24,000 for that hit that knocked Gronkowski out of the AFC Championship game and into concussion protocol, where he remains. He did not practice this week, and if the game was being played tomorrow, he would be out. Of course, the game is not being played tomorrow. The Patriots having to release that information by league rule. They don't have to release any more medical information or injury reports until Wednesday. So, of course, all eyes will be on practice over the next few days, because if we see Gronkowski there, that'll be a strong indication that he's been cleared. As for Tom Brady, his hands look perfect, even catching passes in practice yesterday. He was upgraded from limited on Thursday to a full participant on Friday. More evidence that he should be fine come Super Bowl Sunday. For more now on the Eagles, let's send it over to Philadelphia and Tiffany Blackman.
Well, Omar, it's no secret this Eagles defense has a tall task at hand up against Tom Brady. And I got to catch up with one of Brady's former teammates who's now here, and Chris Long. And he told me people still doubt Tom Brady. I know it sounds crazy. People doubt him at 40 years old. People want to doubt that whole group, but they are resilient. And he said for me just to look back to that Atlanta game, that Super Bowl last year that he was a part of, when they came back from being down 28-3, he said that the Patriots have some mentally tough guys on that team, kind of like they do here. And Colleen, we all know these Eagles, they have been through so much this season. But of course, now here they are, one of two teams left standing. And that's obviously a testament to the guys in that locker room and to their head coach, and Doug Pederson.
Yeah, and we're actually going to talk about Doug Pederson coming up. But Tiffany Blackman, Omar Ruiz with the latest from Philadelphia and Foxborough. And I'm so glad that you mentioned Doug Pederson here, because since 1980, 6 head coaches have won the Super Bowl in one of their first 2 seasons, including Mike Tomlin and Brian Billick. Doug Pederson is trying to add his name to this exclusive list right now.
Flores beat the Eagles.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
exactly. Do you guys think Doug Pederson is getting enough credit for everything that he's done
Go ahead, Jeezy. You've been on him all year, though. You've been saying that he's been doing a great job all season.
The thing that what I've been saying all year, and I'm glad you're starting to see it a little bit publicly, is the fact that Doug Pederson comes off, and we just spoke to Steve Spagnuolo about this last hour, comes off like a player-friendly coach. He's not stern enough. And everything that I've been hearing from people in the Eagles facility was, no, he knows when to hit the throttle. We had a conversation last year after they had a players-only meeting where Pederson said, he says, I never want them to see me as up here. I want them to see me here. Now, that's a delicate balance now, because you still have to have the respect while you see him eye to eye, and the respect comes with knowing when to put your foot on their throats, and he's done that. And Mike Silver for NFL.com wrote a great column after the NFC Championship game about how he saw something in practice after an interception where the offense was walking back to the huddle and they didn't chase him. He stopped it. He reamed these guys. He took it back to the point of the interception and said, I'm going to blow the whistle, and now you're going to chase him now, and then you're going to come back to the huddle like you mean it. So you're seeing some of these examples of Pederson being able to do that, and you got to have that mentality as a coach and that balance.
There's a couple of things to me that this year showed that Doug Pederson is a hell of a coach. I mean, losing your left tackle. Not just a regular left tackle. He's a dominant all-pro left tackle. Losing your MVP candidate quarterback. And when you look at how this offense continued to operate, it really didn't miss a beat. Yeah, Nick Foles took him a couple of weeks to get going, but the offense didn't really miss a beat. And what I like about Doug Pederson is he's taken college concepts and footwork and things like that, and he's merged it with the structure of the National Football League, right? He's the perfect coach for a young quarterback coming into the National Football League with these spread concepts. I mean, people in Spags talked about the RPOs, and we always talk about the RPOs. People
I feel like we should do a day.
Yeah, I know. Every time we hear it, right? People have been doing RPOs for years in the National Football League. It just so happens now the terminology has become mainstream.
And when you abbreviate it and make it an acronym,
it's real catchy. But Doug Pederson, his mindset, he has a defensive mindset when he calls plays. Defensive coaches are kind of always attacking, right? When you look at this play caller, 2 screens back-to-back to a running back. After that, 2 screens back-to-back to a tight end. You know, after that, he may do a draw, then do 4 or 5 RPOs in a row that puts a tremendous stress on the will linebacker. Just the way he helps his players out and put them in a position to win. Exactly. That's what you want in a head coach, and I think Doug Pederson has done a masterful job of it. Sean McVay is another one of these young coaches who kind of has that defensive mentality as they call plays.
I think the hardest thing, the most difficult thing as a head coach in the National Football League is handling the ebbs and flows of the season. The season's so long. It's 16 weeks in the regular season. You make the playoffs. It's another 4. You make the Super Bowl. It's a long season, and if you account OTAs and all of that good stuff, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have ups and downs within your team. How you handle those things within your team is what makes you a good or a bad coach. And I think he's handled those injuries, those setbacks, if you will. Carson Wentz, his left tackle. He's handled those things tremendously, and now he's reaping the benefits of it because guys are responding to the changes and the things that he's making.
Foles. I mean, that's such a testament to what he's able to do and how he's able to work with these guys, the way that the confidence that Nick Foles has now.
He's made him comfortable, and we use the term exotic smash mouth with Tennessee Titans last year. No, the Philadelphia Eagles are exotic smash mouth, and I thought he has matured calling the run game. Last year, I wasn't, I didn't know if he was going to be able to call the run game with the veracity he's called it this year. But this year, and then getting Jay Ajayi,
that was bigger than what
shout out to Howie Roseman for doing that.
Credit for, yeah,
exactly. And they're using those guys beautifully.
Good job, Colin. Executive of the year.
One more. How about it?
The one other thing I wanted to add here,
and
this starts, please. This starts with the head coach and it trickles down. Fletcher Cox had a quote the other day in his press conference, not the one where he said he doesn't watch the Super Bowl, the other one, where he said, I know for a fact we're going to make it about us. We're not going to make it about the Patriots. Because they're going to be asked repeatedly about the legacy and the dynasty and all this stuff. And to me, when I look at the Super Bowls that the Patriots have won, at some point in all those Super Bowls, the other team blinked. Okay, you can say, I'm sorry, you could say Seattle blinked. Okay, you could say the Falcons blinked. You could say the Panthers blinked early in the game when they played them. The Eagles blinked late in the game when they weren't running that hurry-up offense enough. Exactly. You need to go into this game and realizing you can't blink at all. And I believe that Doug Pederson really has these guys believing that it's going to be about them and not about New England. So expect to hear a lot of that in the coming week.
Let's stick with Doug Pederson here. We're going to run through some other Super Bowl topics with our hot routes. But Doug Pederson is first up here. All right, M-Rob, which play caller has the better year, had the better year here? Doug Pederson or Josh McDaniels?
It's hard. It's hard for you to go against Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels, but I would have to say Doug Pederson.
Just with everything that he's dealt with.
Because of all the injuries he's dealt with, and when you look at Josh McDaniels, you do still have Tom Brady. Tom Brady's played for, what, 50-something years in the National Football League? He's seen it. Feels like it. It feels like it, right? So Doug Pederson, the way he coaches these young quarterbacks, I would have to say Doug Pederson.
Okay, let's flip it to the defense. Which DC Garofalo do you trust more in this spot, Jim Schwartz or Matt Patricia? It's a tough on the spot.
It's tough, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a 2-for-1 package. I'm going to say Patricia because I'm getting Bill Belichick with Matt Patricia. Okay, so you got two of the great minds in the NFL today working together. I do like that package deal. They play off each other well. This will be the last time because Matt Patricia's on his way to Detroit.
I like your thinking in this one. All right, Victor, let's do this one. More catches in the Super Bowl, Alshon Jeffrey or Brandon Cooks?
I'm going Alshon Jeffries here. I think because 100%, I think he's the bigger target. He's the biggest wide receiver on the field, and I think he's just going to have a day. I think they're going to find him early and often and get him the football, especially when they get into that red zone, if they're able to get in there. As we saw last week, he's a target down there. He's a big target, strong hands. He goes up to get the football. I think he's going to have more catches.
I like it. Now we're dipping into the territory of when you're at the Super Bowl party and you play these little games with your friends. Who's going to have more of this? For entertainment purposes only. Colleen, who's more likely to get a sack, Chris Long or James Harrison?
This is a tough one.
I know it is.
Really tough. But
they're all tough.
I know. So I'm going to give James Harrison the edge in this one just because he's out to prove everybody wrong. He's playing angry. He plays more snaps than Chris Long. So I feel like he has a little bit better of a shot just because of the amount of plays that he's out there for. It's very close. Plus, Tom Brady gets the ball out a little bit quicker than Nick Foles. Nick Foles has sometimes a little bit of a long windup. I don't know. So that's what I'm going with. Even though the Eagles' pass protection, I think, is a little bit better.
And as Chris Long showed you, you don't have to have a sack to have an impact play, as he showed you in that NFC Championship game.
That is true. So we're guessing Tom Brady. I don't know, maybe he's an emoji guy. Maybe that's a weird guess. I feel like